Hi, I'm Stacy. Welcome to Edwards Estate and Elder Law. Thank you for taking the time to fill out a questionnaire, make an appointment with us, and watch this video, which will walk you through your experience in your consultation process with us. Our goal of estate planning is to ensure that you get landing gear down. Most people around you either don't have an estate plan or they have a badly written estate plan. That's going to lead to a crash landing. We do a lot of crash site cleanup. Our purpose is to give you peace of mind that your crisis and death documents will relieve your family and loved ones from heartache, headache, lost time, and lost money. When you come in, we're going to meet at one of our 2 conference rooms where we have a photo gallery with plaques underneath each photo. We're going to take you through these photos in this video, and then when you come into the actual meeting, feel free to contemplate the photos yourself before the meeting, and during our meeting, while we're going through your consultation questionnaire, we'll be referring to some of these pictures. What's the purpose of these pictures? The first half of the room shows pictures that demonstrate why you should have an estate plan. Not just an estate plan, but a great estate plan. And then the second half of the room depicts photos that show what a great estate plan will do for you. When we're in the consultation process, we're going to cast your questionnaire on the television. This is so we can go through it together to make sure that you've completed all the areas that are necessary in order to prepare your great estate plan. You don't know what you don't know. So let us help educate you and get a plan in place so that you have peace of mind for your future and your family's future to avoid heartache, headache, lost time, and lost money. We'll see you soon. Enjoy the video. This photograph depicts 3 streams that flow into one river. These streams are probate assets, contract assets, and operation of law assets. What are those? Probate assets are assets that are governed by your last will and testament. This stream is very short because most people don't have many assets that are governed by a last will and testament. It's a big myth that a will governs everything. It does not. We have contract assets that can name beneficiaries, such as IRAs, other retirement accounts like 401ks, 403bs, 457s, life insurance policies that name beneficiaries, annuities that name beneficiaries, or trusts. Trusts are a contract between yourself, if you put your assets in a trust yourself and you name a trustee who manages those assets for you. That's a contract. Operation of law assets are assets that you may own with somebody else jointly, and when one of those owners dies, either yourself or the other owners, they have what's called a right of survivorship by operation of law, so that if you're a married couple and one of you passes away, the survivor receives that asset. Now there's different ways of holding assets with more than one name, so don't get confused. We'll discuss this when you get here. Either you have co-owners who don't have the right of survivorship, and that follows the probate stream, or you have assets that are held with right of survivorship, and that's the operation of law stream. So what are we going to review with you in our consultation? We're going to review each one of your assets, and your questionnaire for your consultation is going to help us do that. We're asking you directly on your questionnaire to tell us who owns this asset. Is it in your own name with nowhere to go? Does it have somewhere to go when you die? Or is it owned jointly with someone with right of survivorship? So in actuality, when we pass away, the asset looks at itself and says, do I have a beneficiary designation written on me, a POD, a transfer on death? No. Am I in a box where someone can open the lid and take me out and give me to the beneficiary? That's called a trust. No. Is there a co-owner wrapped around me that will tell me where I go because my owner passed away? No. Okay, I guess I'm a probate asset. Is there a will? Yes, there's a will. I follow the will. If there's no will, oh, where does New Jersey say I have to go? I don't want to go there. I wish my owner had a will, or I wish my owner put a beneficiary designation on me, or I wish my owner gave me a co-owner, or I wish my owner put me in a trust. We're going to flesh all of that out with you to make sure that you understand the difference between the ownership of assets and the passage of assets, so that when it comes over here to the river, you'll have an understanding of who gets what. This stream represents your assets. The people in it are your beneficiaries. How do you want your beneficiaries to receive your assets? If you leave your assets to a loved one outright, you have to be aware that there are risks. They can drown under the rapids, they can get caught up on the rocks, or they can go over the waterfall by either having spendthrifted those assets or be subject to manipulation like undue influence. So we'll discuss the differences between outright assets and the dangers of leaving assets outright, and if it's suitable for your family and your loved ones to leave assets in trust, which is this kayaker in the middle. He gets to enjoy the scenery and be far away from the rocks, the rapids, and the waterfall. Why do we talk about trust planning in our estate consultations? Because we want to help you avoid creditors, predators, in-laws, and outlaws. A lot of people don't understand that when you leave assets outright to a loved one, it's not protected unless you put it in some kind of trust. So the typical predators are in-laws that could be outlaws of your children, and judgment creditors. So we'll talk about whether or not trust planning is suitable for your family and whether special needs planning is suitable for your family. Here's something I hear all the time. But my kids won't fight when I die. I call that famous last words. Your kids may fight if they don't know what their roles are and they don't know who's getting what, or they feel that one child has preference over another. We're going to help you make thoughtful decisions so that we can avoid this. This is the last thing we want when you die. We want to make sure that you leave a legacy of love, not a situation where your children are going to be in conflict with each other, or your grandchildren will be in conflict with each other, or your spouse of your new marriage will be in conflict with your children. So a great estate plan will help ensure that your wishes are enforced. If you don't have an estate plan or you have an improperly prepared estate plan, unfortunately, there could be disputes and litigation. The goal of estate planning and trust planning for that matter, if you decide to do trust planning rather than outright distributions to your family, is to get your loved ones across this dangerous river of rapids so that they can enjoy their inheritance and carry it on their own. This is a scenario everybody's familiar with. The gimme gimme kid. This baby Robin is trying to tell mama, give me the house now. I'm the one who takes you to the doctor. I'm the one who buys your groceries. Treat me better than my siblings. This is not something that we want you to feel pressured about. We're going to educate you about undue influence, no matter what your age is, and how to avoid it in the future as you age. You are an autonomous human being. You have the right to say who gets your assets and how they receive them, whether it's outright in their back pocket or in some form of trust. No one should tell you what they should receive from you. That is your right. If you don't put your wishes in writing, they won't be enforced, because no writing equals no rights. You have the right to refuse undue influence and to determine who receives your assets and how they receive them. We have a lot of clients who come in for a consultation because they were recommended to come in and discuss their crisis plan and their estate death plan with us. And they have a thought that I'm young, I'm 35 years old. Maybe I'm 25 years old. I'm not an elderly person. I don't have a lot of assets. Why should I be here? Life is beautiful. This is me and my wife. These are my children. We're all healthy now. Well, guess what? Rainy days of crisis are bound to happen. Accidents can happen any day. Illnesses that are debilitating and incapacitating can happen any day, and we don't know our death date. So what do we want to do for you? We want to make sure that you're prepared if that situation happens to you. And of course, when we pass away, we want to make sure that you're prepared when that situation happens as well. So a plan that we're going to give you contains a healthcare directive and a power of attorney, amongst other instruments. Those are your crisis instruments. If an incapacitating event happens, we want to make sure that you've selected your loved ones that you trust to use your pen and their voice for your benefit. Who do you trust? The financially responsible child on the left? Or your 40-year-old child who lives in your basement and doesn't know what he wants to be when he grows up? This picture will help you decide in consultation with us who you should choose to utilize your pen and utilize their voice for you. With your crisis planning documents, we're going to be discussing with you in the consultation the appointment of a guardian. A guardian can come into play under several roles. Of course, if you have children under the age of 18, we want to make sure that your last will and testament includes a guardian or more than one guardian. We don't only select one person in these roles where they're going to have authority to manage your well-being, your assets, and your children's well-being and assets. We want to make sure that you have successors in the event the first person cannot act. What if the first person is married now, and if that person gets divorced? Do you still want that person to be your guardian over your children, or are you preferring a married couple? We'll talk through all of that and how to specify your specific wishes for your children's growth in your last will and testament. We also have a separate power of attorney for children under the age of 18. It's a temporary guardian power of attorney, and it lasts for 1 year. It has to be renewed every year under the laws of the state of New Jersey, so that if you have an incapacitating event and you're in the hospital and you can't take care of your child, you've named a guardian for your child on a temporary basis. This photograph also represents an elderly person who is declining, who, even though you may have selected your agent under power of attorney and healthcare directive to use your pen and use their voice for your well-being and your asset management, that doesn't give anyone the right to take away your keys. That doesn't give anyone the right to put a home health aide in your home. You still have that autonomous right to reject something that your healthcare agent or your power of attorney agent is trying to accomplish for you. However, if you've lost capacity and now you're taking actions that are against your own best interest, we want to make sure that your power of attorney instrument appoints a guardian who is typically your agent that you've entrusted with your pen and your voice, so that they can make sure that your safety is protected. So what will a great estate plan do for you? It will allow you to travel through life with grace and dignity. The flowers on the other side of the wall are perky and bright, and then a crisis has occurred and the flower now has wilted and has a storm on it and there's rain on it. But here, look, this flower is still beautiful. Your estate plan will give you peace of mind that even though you may be declining, or you may be injured, or you may be incapacitated, and this represents the storm, your estate plan is going to come down and protect your well-being and your assets. The lifeblood of this flower is the pistil with the pollen. So if you have a crisis, we want to make sure that your healthcare directive, your power of attorney instrument, and other tools that we'll educate you about will come down around and protect your assets and protect your well-being, so that your family doesn't feel the burdens of decision making that you can make ahead of time while you're able. Everyone who comes in here says, I don't want to be a burden to my family. Okay, then let's give you peace of mind that you won't be a burden, and let's free them from the burdens of lost time, lost money, heartache, and headache. Your great estate plan will give you the power to face the storm. This flower, it's in the storm, but look how strong it is, because it has a healthcare directive, it has a power of attorney, it has a last will and testament that has specifications in there about who's going to receive their assets in trust, who's going to receive their assets outright in their pocket. They've appointed their agent for their funeral. They've checked their beneficiary designations and updated them and made sure they flowed into the right stream of assets in the river. This will give you the peace of mind that everything will be taken care of and your family will be free from burden. This fellow right here, he represents everyday risk. As I said, we don't know if an accident is going to occur, if a disease is going to be diagnosed, if there's going to be a death. We get behind the wheel of a car every single day. This bird takes off and flies 2 inches from the water every single day. If his friends are standing on the edge of the water and they say, "Hey, Charlie, if you knew you had a hairline fracture in your wing, would you still take off on that flight and take that risk?" What if the next time you lift your wing, it snaps and you flip over and you bob in the water? And there you are, just bobbing, and you're broken. You've got this horrible injury. He says, "Oh, I'm still going to take this risk because I have a great estate plan that will give me strength during the storm, and it's going to give me peace of mind and help my family avoid heartache, headache, lost time, lost money, and it's going to help me travel through life with grace and dignity and protect my assets and my well-being." Our goal and our wish for you is that in moments of crisis, whether this is a health crisis or an actual death, we want to make sure that you and your loved ones can still see the beauty of the journey. Because let's face it, we're all going to die. This is going to be our view, no matter if we're ashes on the ground, in a coffin in the ground, or ashes on the ocean, or some other modern way of disposition of our body. We're all going to die. So let's talk about it, and let's get a plan in place that enforces your wishes. We look forward to meeting you in your consultation and discussing your needs and your wishes further and getting a great estate plan in place for you. See you soon.